it is essential that you not avoid the pain of this life, because there is information in that for you that will lead to your greatest healing and often your greatest gifts. Hello, you gorgeous and sexy creature. Welcome to Practice Intimacy. This is the place to be to learn all about love, sex, and how to have the best relationships you possibly can. Not only with other people who you want to love, but also with yourself. All of the best relationships you're going to have is actually going to start with having good relationship here. And one of the things that you can do in order to get to that place is having a good relationship with the parts of you that feel hurt, scared, angry, in pain. And you'll have them just like everyone else, because this world is a imperfect place where you will get hurt and you will feel pain. And if anyone tells you that you can live without those experiences, they're lying. They're trying to sell you something. The reality is there will always be some amount of discomfort. There will. And how you relate to that discomfort is really the basis for what kind of life you're going to have. If you relate to that discomfort with resistance and anger and getting upset and fighting against it and basically bashing your head up against reality, wanting reality to change, you will probably be disappointed. You will be disappointed. Whereas if you learn how to be in acceptance of reality, including all of the things that you do not like, then you can meet yourself with the kind of love and care that you would meet anyone that you care about who's going through a hard time. Because there will always be hard times. This is not that book, The Giver, where everyone's in utopia except one person who holds all of the pain of the world. No, all of us are carrying pain. All of us are experiencing some kind of hurt or trauma or discomfort in our life. And what happens in this world, this reality, is you can bring loving kindness and compassion and generosity and care to those parts in pain, to those people who are experiencing some kind of pain. You can be with them and hold them with love through that experience. And it doesn't change the fact that it was painful. So, here's the thing that I have been thinking about. There is a saying, especially in the world of coaching, that I have been resistant to for a long time. The saying goes, this didn't happen to you, it happened for you. And the idea behind that is switching your thinking, rather than like, oh, I am a victim of this world and all the bad things that are happening to me are so terrible, and the way I sound like a victim is not pleasant. Woe is me is basically the idea of the first piece. When things happen to you, woe is me, and I'm a victim. Whereas if things happen for you, then there's some kind of lesson in that. There's some kind of growth opportunity. There's something in that painful experience, that hard experience, that is going to move you to another level of your life. Or it has the potential to move you to another level of your life, one in which you feel better. Now, the reason why I have been resistant to that idea, that saying, for a long time, is because I do not like anything that would make a person who has been hurt feel as though they are behaving poorly or to minimize their pain in any way. And there's a part of me that would always hear that little phrase, it didn't happen to you, it happened for you, and I would have like an internal response back to it, like, how dare you say that to anybody who's been harmed in significant ways? How dare you ever say to somebody that they were traumatized or taken advantage of or used and violated by somebody else, and tell them that that was for them? And so yeah, my hackles raise, my big like, fuck you energy comes online. And I'm starting to think about it slightly differently. I still have that internal reaction that might always be there, because there's a really protective part of me that does not ever want anyone to feel like they, like they're to blame, or like they did something wrong if they were hurt, or that they somehow invited that hurt. I can't buy that thinking. I'm not into it. However, I do believe that there are gifts that you will learn out of the pain you experience. And I always return to the original meaning of a medicine man or a woman. In Native American culture, a medicine man or woman, the medicine people, they went through something really hard. They had some kind of experience, whether it was like a physical experience that almost led to death, or a psychological experience that put them on a path that was really painful, scary, possibly even like almost insane looking. And then they came out of that. And the idea is that they are medicine in and of themselves, because they have been through the horrors that are possible in this lifetime, and they have healed themselves to come back into relationship where they are more loving and kind towards themselves and everyone else, because they've been through that painful experience. And that's the essential piece. They're medicine because they went through something hard and they were able to heal themselves through that hard experience. And they become medicine for others because of this. And so there is a part of me that does buy into this idea of, if you look at the pain in your life through a certain lens and you take the lessons from it and you offer gratitude to yourself and to the people who helped you, that led you through whatever healing journey you went on to get to where you are today. Like if you look at it through that lens, you could think of it as for you. Let me give you some examples. I'll give you an example from previously in my life and a more recent example, but about the same thing. So, one of the challenges I've experienced in my lifetime is having herpes. I got herpes from my very first sexual partner. I felt huge amounts of shame about it. And I had to learn how to live with that diagnosis and that virus in my body, and how to communicate that to partners, and all of these things that are not pleasant to do, but that was my new reality. If you want to learn more about that, check out this video. But it's one of the challenges I've had in my life. And I realized during this moment with a client that it was also a gift, because when it comes to sex, I don't struggle very much to be in pleasure. That's not something I struggle with. I actually have really natural internal space that I can step into sexual situations and not only feel totally comfortable, but also show up with like my full desire and my full authentic self. That's not hard for me. And then I had this experience that made it hard for me because herpes made it to where there was like this barrier and block, and I wasn't able to even communicate to new people that I had it. So I just didn't have sex for a while. Like I cut off this part of myself for a long time because I couldn't talk about it. I didn't want to be with that reality. And I started having clients come into my office who had different blocks and barriers to sexuality, things that stopped them from being able to be their full, authentic sexual self. And I would not have understood that experience. I wouldn't have. I would have been like, come on, just do it. Because for me, it was so easy to be sexual and free in that space. But because of the herpes, I actually did get it. It wasn't the same. My block, my barrier was different from theirs and different from another client's, but I could understand. I had the empathy in place to where I really like viscerally got, oh, of course you're scared to be sexual and free and totally yourself in sexual spaces. It's terrifying for you for this reason. And so that was a gift for me. Even though getting herpes felt like the end of the world whenever I first got it, it actually did help serve my people, the clients that I bring into my office, these people who I actually genuinely care about and love. And so it was a gift. It ended up being a gift. It's making me emotional. I will tell you one other way in which herpes has been a gift for me, and this is more recent, but with partners, navigating times whenever we want to be sexual together, but I have an outbreak, it has actually led to more creativity in the bedroom than I could have ever done if I didn't have herpes. We've had to get way more creative about what we do and how we both have pleasure in an experience while also staying safe and mindful and aware of protecting their body and also protecting my body. Like herpes outbreaks, they don't feel good. I don't want to be touched. And so protecting them from contracting it and protecting me from feeling discomfort and still having a sexual experience that's super juicy. And so that is another gift of this painful part of my life. And there are so many other examples I could give you. I could talk about why I became a therapist and how becoming a therapist has been one of the greatest gifts of my life, but it's also out of the biggest traumas of my life. But that doesn't actually matter. Like, these are just examples. I want you to get a sense of this experience and then look at your own life. Look at your challenges, the things that have been really hard, the pain points, the discomforts that you have experienced and are still experiencing, and begin to be curious. Don't minimize them. They are painful. They are hard. They're things that hurt. Hold yourself with love, knowing that that's true. And also be curious. How might these challenges actually help serve you to become the most loving version of yourself, to become the most integrated and kind and creative version of yourself? Because there will be some gifts in that pain. I don't know what they are. They might be gifts for you. They might be gifts for others, where you know how to show up for other people who are struggling with something similar. But begin to just be curious. How might the challenges of your life actually lead to you becoming the person you want to be? How could they be gifts for you? And truly, also hold the other piece. Don't discount the pain. Don't pretend like the gifts mean that it was worth it, because it might not feel that way to you. Instead, just hold the reality of both. This thing was awful. It was horrible. And here are the lessons. Here's how you've grown. Here's how you've become a more vibrant, turned on, loving version of yourself because of the hard things you've been through. I'm sending you so much love. Remember to leave me comments. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're feeling. Share with me some of the things that you've learned over the years through these challenges you've been through. Remember to like this video, subscribe to Practice Intimacy, and I will see you next time.